According to research, almost everyone will experience anxiety at some stage of life. When you're in the grip of anxiety, it can feel like you will never get on top of your life or mindset. Anxiety can feel incredibly isolating and overwhelming. The thoughts that drive anxiety often undermine what you believe you are capable of. Anxiety can limit what you do and achieve, shrinking your life and what you believe is possible. It's very possible to overcome and manage anxiety by understanding the basics of neuroscience. By using brain-based strategies, you can rewire your brain for greater calm, clarity, and control. When you become anxious, your brain is only doing what it's designed to do, which is to keep you safe and alive in the face of perceived danger. The brain has an incredible inbuilt system that kicks in when it registers danger, known as the fight or flight response. Your body's fight or flight response is your survival mode and is driven by the emotional part of your brain, your amygdala. When your amygdala perceives a threat, it activates your fight or flight response, causing a release of adrenaline and cortisol through your body. These stress hormones change your physiology and cause your heart to pump faster, your muscles to become tense, your palms to sweat, and your breathing to become more rapid. These changes in your physiology are designed to get your body ready for quick physical action, which is why when you become anxious you feel like escaping or running away. Your amygdala not only releases stress hormones but also overwhelms the critical thinking part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. While you are anxious, the emotional part of your brain drives your thinking. Your amygdala has hijacked your prefrontal cortex when you become anxious and highly stressed. This radical shift in how your brain operates means that when you are anxious and highly stressed, it's exceptionally hard to think clearly, calmly, and rationally. Not being able to assess your thoughts or the situation you are in with a rational and clear mind can keep your anxiety high and your fight or flight response active. To manage and overcome anxiety, it's necessary to first switch off your fight or flight response and calm your amygdala. Trying to think rationally about your anxiety while in fight or flight mode is often ineffective, as your prefrontal cortex is offline at this point in the process. Once you are out of survival mode, your prefrontal cortex can begin to exert more control over your thinking, and you can look critically and calmly at the thoughts and perceptions driving your anxiety. You can then replace those thoughts with more balanced and helpful ways of thinking and test them through real-life exposure experiences. Change can feel confronting in the beginning, especially when you are used to responding to your anxiety in a certain way. The neural pathways in your brain become stronger and faster the more you use them. Your brain is powerfully shaped through repetition. How you respond to anxiety can decrease your anxiety levels, or it can wire in anxiety even further. This is particularly true when you stay fixated on your anxious thoughts and avoid the things that trigger your anxiety. By choosing new ways of responding and thinking, you can create new neural pathways in your brain, allowing the anxiety pathways to become weaker over time. You can rewire your brain for greater calm, clarity, and control. 1. Rewire for calm. Slowing down. When you become anxious, everything becomes quicker. Your mind begins to race, your heart rate increases, and your breathing becomes fast and shallow. Different breathing patterns promote different emotional states. If you slow your breathing down, your heart rate will slow down and you will become more relaxed. Slower, deeper breathing signals to your amygdala that everything is okay and deactivates your fight or flight response. There are many different breathing exercises you can try, so test out a few to see which ones work best for you. The deep breathing exercise above takes your focus off the worst-case scenario running through your mind, bringing your awareness back to the present moment and de-escalating your anxious response. Being told to just breathe when you feel anxious can be frustrating. While it can be hard to hear this advice, your breath is an incredibly powerful tool that allows you to communicate directly with your brain and interrupts your body's anxious response. You can also use your senses to bring your attention back to the present moment. When you feel anxious, you can ask yourself, what can I see around me that is red, blue, or yellow? Or, what can I hear that is close and what is far? Mindful breathing and tuning into your surroundings are powerful circuit breakers when you feel anxious. Exercise also dramatically changes the chemistry in your body and calms your amygdala, switching off your fight or flight response. Everything in your body is geared for quick physical action when your fight or flight response has been activated. Exercise, however, reverses this process. Exercise releases muscle tension, lowers adrenaline, uses up excess glucose, and releases feel-good endorphins, all of which help to dissipate that amped-up feeling that comes with anxiety. Studies have also found that regular exercise can be preventive in managing your anxiety. Exercise has surprisingly powerful effects on the amygdala, surpassing many anti-anxiety medications in effectiveness. Heading out for a walk, going for a jog, or doing a gym session are all great ways to change your physiology in order to change your psychology. You can use exercise as a calming strategy when your anxiety is high and also as a preventive measure. 2. Rewire for clarity. Diffuse. Our minds throw us thought after thought, inviting us to take the bait. And if we bite, we get hooked. We get tangled up in our thoughts and they exert a major influence over our actions. To stop getting hooked by your anxious thoughts, one simple strategy can be used called, I am having the thought that, followed by your circumstances. For example, if the thought, I am going to stuff up and fail, is causing you to feel anxious, shift how you hear this thought in your mind by saying, I am having the thought that I am going to stuff up and fail. You can go a step further and create even more distance from your thoughts by saying, I notice I'm having the thought that I am going to stuff up and fail. This strategy is effective in reminding you that a thought is just a thought. Putting distance between yourself and your thoughts makes it easier to think clearly and stops your amygdala from activating your fight or flight response. From a position of calm, you can now power up your prefrontal cortex and think critically about the thoughts triggering your anxiety. When we are in an anxious state, our mind is focused on threats. We pay attention to feared possibilities, overestimate the likelihood of worst-case scenarios and predict catastrophic consequences. As our perceptions are biased toward threats, our appraisals of danger are unreliable. Fear-driven perceptions drive your anxiety, so to adopt less biased perspectives it's important you intentionally switch back into your prefrontal cortex. This series of questions activate your prefrontal cortex so you can externalize, assess, analyze, rationalize, find evidence, and begin to problem solve. By thinking with this part of your brain, your focus shifts away from emotion and problems and towards logic and solutions. 3. Rewire for control. While it's a normal response to want to move away from what is causing you to feel anxious, avoidance wires in anxiety even further. Avoiding situations that we perceive to be dangerous is a natural human response. However, when the danger is imagined rather than real, avoiding those situations reinforces our perception of danger because we have no opportunity to discover that our fears are misguided. If we do not confront our demons at some stage, we never learn to overcome them. Confronting your anxiety is never an easy thing to do and may be best done under the guidance and support of a mental health professional. When you choose to face your anxiety, it's important to pick a situation you believe you can handle, where you experience some anxiety but not too much. This may mean you need to break down a big fear into smaller steps. For example, if you feel anxious about flying, you might start by going to an airport rather than booking a flight. By successfully staying in a situation that makes you feel anxious, you can retrain your amygdala and create new associations in your brain. Exercise releases muscle tension, lowers adrenaline, uses up excess glucose, and releases feel-good endorphins, all of which help to dissipate that amped-up feeling that comes with anxiety. If you show the amygdala new information that's inconsistent with what it has previously experienced, it will make new connections in response to the information and learn from the experience. Your brain learns best from experience, and the more you can show your brain that what you fear is unfounded, the more you can manage and overcome your anxiety. After you have completed an exposure exercise, it's important to go back and reflect on the experience to wire in your learning. This series of questions draws your attention to what actually happened when you faced your anxiety, in contrast to what you expected and feared would happen. As you begin to see that the worst-case scenario you have imagined and feared rarely happens, your anxious thoughts begin to lose their intensity. As you reflect and see that you are far more resilient and resourceful than you believed, you begin to restore your confidence in yourself and your abilities. Successful exposure experiences expand what you believe is possible, allowing you to live a bigger life with less fear and fewer limitations. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. You have considerable influence over how your brain works. You can manage and overcome your anxiety by directing how your brain is firing and wiring. By choosing new ways of thinking and responding, you can rewire your brain for calm, clarity, and control, and start living with more freedom and joy. Hope this helps, and let's get the rewiring done for a better and healthier life. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and see you in the next video.